What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Yard G2A Festival. It's going to be the third and final game between 4Clover+Lepricon and Moscow 5. M5 started off with a one-game lead because of reasons, but now here we are, and it's all tied up, going to a deciding game 3, and maybe that's just how it should be. This is still the first round, actually. This game got pretty heavily delayed, but 4Clovers and Moscow 5, winner of this is going to face either Hehe or BBC, which is also just being delayed for ages, but that's going to come out at a future date, guys. In fact, it's going to be played tomorrow, so it should be good there. But for right now, we'll see who is able to continue on and who is knocked out. I'm Mikelorus, going to be joined by MoreRagePlz for this third and final game. That was a pretty decisive game from 4Clovers, man. Moscow 5, do you think they have to change much up?
I mean, I want to say that their early drafting left the greed open to 4C and L, but I don't feel like necessarily it was the Enigma pick that really swung the game. It was just some great play, as you alluded to there, from 4C and L, specifically from Bambo's Magnus. Really only had the one misstep with the two-man RP in the river, and not that it was a poor one, it was just a little bit of a lack of follow-up, and they didn't expect the Queen of Pain to come in and blow up BZZ there. So, yeah, I don't know that Moscow 5 does much differently, but just maybe be more diligent about their vision, be a little bit more cautious about when some of those linchpin heroes like the Magnus are missing on the map. 4CNL, just do the same thing you've been doing. Didn't have to scale late against a squad that scaled pretty well throughout the game, having some mid-game prowess there and also having the Tiny in the late game. So just really playing to the strengths of their lineup there. Hani was an absolute beast on the Bristleback, but didn't even feel like he was needed with all the big team fight ultimates available to 4CNL.
Yeah, when Sexy Bambo hands you kill after kill after kill on a silver platter, it's really hard to say that you need a Bristleback to really follow up on the late game. So if Sexy Bambo can keep performing, then, man, it's going to be a great game for 4Clovers again. This time, though, it's going to be a troll first pick for Moscow 5. No one should be surprised about that. It got through the pool, therefore it's a first pick. 4Clovers going to grab a Magnus very early after the last performance from Bambo. Completely understandable that they would grab this hero. Juggernaut's still in the pool, and they might want to grab that one. But Moscow 5 can also grab a Bat Rider and then ban out Eventual Spirit. So there are quite a few heroes available right now for both sides because the Treant and Lina got more earlier bans, and Spirit Breaker as well.
Yeah, they could even go for an IO themselves here. Craggy's pretty damn good up against the Troll Warlord, so maybe they pick that combo up for themselves on top of the Magnus, but they are going to opt for the Jug. Jug pretty good against Troll, being that he doesn't necessarily have to man up against him for the entirety of the fight, especially if he catches him out alone. So Juggernaut, a nice pick here. Of course, the Empower with Juggernaut is broken as hell, considering that he often builds into that Mask of Madness and can pick it up really early. So already innate farming advantage going for CNL's way. Be interested to see how Moscow 5 respond to this one. Tiny is a damn good hero along with the Troll Warlord, so maybe they try to go back for it. They will stick with at least the Queen of Pain from Game 1's lineup, or Game 2, I guess.
Yeah, Axmo is just super comfortable with the hero, and he did a lot of work in the last game for Moscow 5. Wasn't enough to win them the game because they were just up against so much pressure from 4Clovers, but Queen of Pain is a decent hero up against Juggernaut. She's going to have a blink out from the Omni Slashes most of the time, and the Sonic Wave, when it's pure, does go through that spin of the Jug. So 4Clovers perhaps going to go for, again, a very much so rampy strategy. This time Hani is going to do a lot more damage, so his impacts are going to be a lot more tangible in this game, but 4Clovers this time might want to play a little bit of a slower draft. They could still grab an Ogre Magi and then just, again, steroid up the Juggernaut and just let him loose. But even in that late game scenario, a super farm Juggernaut is not guaranteed to outcarry a super farm Troll Warlord. Like, even in a man fight, Troll Warlord has Bash, and that's what gives him a unique edge.
Yeah, certainly so. I mean, the Omni Slash is nice if they're solo, but that's often not the case in Dota 2. So it'll be interesting to see how they scale. The Empower is a really nice tool up to 4C and L's side, so that's going to be great for them to have. I would expect and hope for Axmo, if he plays the Queen of Pain, to build into the Orchid in this one as opposed to that early Aghanims rush. Orchid very good against Juggernaut. If you're able to catch him out, he's not the tankiest carry, and that's often why you'll see most of these players go for something like a Scotty or maybe an Aghanims. It's a little less common when he's in the one position, but just something to tank him up is more often than not necessary. So I would like to see the Orchid build from Axmo here, especially if he snowballs.
Yeah, so we'll see if he can get to that state, first of all, and then, well, Maximo should be having a decent time, as he always does in Queen of Pain. It's always going to be average. Sometimes you need more than that, though. Phoenix, Night Stalker, going to get banned out from 4 Clovers, and the Chen respect ban towards Go Black, as well as Yul's Enigma. 4 Clovers grab a Bane. This is a very interesting pickup, mostly because you can grab Bane last. He's so very rarely banned. In fact, I don't think I've seen him banned in like the past month or something like that. So 4 Clovers do have now a pretty decent answer to the Troll Warlord, as long as Moscow 5 are stun light. So far, they don't really have any stuns, so the Bane's life right now, just first 2 picks, is looking pretty good for Fiends gripping the Troll Warlord, but this is a pretty deep way to go for countering this hero.
Yeah, the Nightmares are also nice to set up. At the very least, skewers for the Magnus. So, and they will force perhaps other heroes from M5 to rotate in, and maybe blindly so into an RP. So, I do like the Bane pickup here. I do agree with you that it's a little bit early for my taste for them to grab it up. But the single target is nice through a very natural BKB builder in the Troll Warlord. And of course, the Nightmare, more often than not, or the Fiend Grip, going to secure a kill on the Queen of Pain. We saw Axmal go for that second item BKB after the Aghanims last game, and this is certainly going to dissuade him from doing so once again. So interesting pickup from 4Cal for sure, but either way, definitely seems to be thus far an effective one.
Yeah, it is really going to make BKBs intimidating for Moscow 5 to pick up, because Troll Warlord, he would love to grab a BKB in most games, but in this one, RP goes through, Fiend's Grip goes through, Omni Slash goes through. What are you actually doing with that BKB? Not that much. So 4 Clovers, I think because they have so much anti-BKB tech, their final core hero ideally would be someone who could pump out a lot of magic damage. And since they're looking for a mid lane hero, it's not going to be Lina. She's banned out. It's not going to be Queen of Pain either, but it is ideally for them going to be someone who is usually forcing out BKBs on the other end. The hero that comes to mind, not really sure right now, but if they get that together, if they try to force Moscow 5 to build into BKBs, that's a big win for 4 Clovers.
Yeah, certainly so. And they do have a lot of options available to them. We certainly are seeing 2 cores in the Jug and the Magnus, but any magic damage heavy support +1 maybe for the off lane would be certainly something that would be kind of forcing...
I'm going to have to call you back, dude. You're getting way robotic on me.
Oh, am I?
Yeah, so we'll just hold on to that thought. Alright, so guys, so hopefully it's going to be a little bit better.
Who knows?
Yes, much better. Good.
Give it a go. Skype, please. Yeah, either way, you're right in the sense that they make it a catch-22 for Moscow 5, basically backing them into a corner. Damned if you do, damned if you don't for that BKB. And certainly a scary opening, and they're going to do exactly that. Pick up a lot of burst damage with the Lion, and a lot of disable available to this combo of the Bane line. Easy setups for the Earth Spike, which is also targetable. Setups for the Skewer as well, that Hex, and then the Finger of Death to cap things off. Looking very scary for a pretty squishy lineup early on with the Queen of Pain and the Witch Doctor.
And it's not really a setup that you really need for the Juggernaut, but hell, if you Nightmare, let the Lion walk in, if the Bane gets boots first, Lion doesn't necessarily have to, and then you open up with a spin afterwards. Even if spin's only level 1, or even if the Juggernaut player doesn't even use the spin, it's so much damage with that brain set that they'll be able to take some kills. But Moscow 5, though, grab an Undying. This is actually pretty sweet. Like, Undying, he never builds BKB. He's just all about taking the hits, and he'll be more than happy to do that. And the Tombstone doesn't really care about the 4 Clovers heroes right now. They will maybe be able to focus it down. But if you're Bane, if you're Magnus, you are going to be scared of that Tombstone. You're not going to be willing to commit a Fiend's Grip with that on the ground. You're going to have to juggle your positioning. So Moscow 5 going to go aggressive, as they are well known to do. But it's also aggression, I think, against the right heroes. So it's a pretty sweet pickup here from Moscow 5. And it's, you don't always see the Undying, but when you do, you're in for an aggressive game.
The one thing I'm a little bit unconvinced about from the side of M5 is that they're either going to have to put this Undying in a support position, which I often find very underwhelming, or if he's in a core, it's going to put all the onus on the back of the Troll Warlord to scale well enough to keep them relevant in this game, like up against this empowered Juggernaut. So I do worry a little bit for M5 side. Of course, it is going to stave off some of the early aggression from this Bane Lion duo that 4cal are showing. So it's a little interesting. It's a very interesting pickup, and I feel like it's a feast or famine pickup for M5. We're going to see presumably what is an off-lane Mirana come out for 4cal here. Dota for Dummies combo for them as well. Bane Mirana is going to be very nice, and I don't know how effective the Tombstone is going to be in this one with a Mask of Madness being picked up presumably by the Juggernaut. I feel like they can focus it pretty quickly, but either way, we'll see how Undying works out for M5.
Yeah, I suppose like Juggernaut spin also goes through, or you could attack the Tombstone while you're spinning as Juggernaut. It's another structure in as far as that's concerned. So yeah, maybe not the best versus Juggernaut, but certainly versus everyone else. Undying going to be at the very least a tough target to kill. And for Clovers, you still very rarely see the Mirana Bane combination nowadays, so it kind of just snuck in right now. But Mirana, just as another stunning tool, they're once again going to be pretty reliant on this Juggernaut, but the amount of ramp they have with this Magnus and power for the Juggernaut to farm, they should be just fine, assuming Mirana has an average time, like boots, phase boots, or phase boots, drum, something like that. Mirana, that's really all she needs to be effective since she has such clear arrow setup. So for 4 Clovers, they needed a hero that would be able to hold down the fort. I don't think they've succeeded in forcing Moscow 5 to go for BKBs. These are heroes that you can probably work around without BKBs for Moscow 5, but hell, that's fine because they have a whole bunch of stuns anyway and a whole lot of pick-off potential. Like, everyone on their team is able to take solo kills.
I think maybe the one advantage in terms of lineups on paper for M5 is that 4cal are pretty single target heavy, and in that sense I feel like their high ground defense is maybe a bit lacking, aside from of course having that RP available to them. So if M5 are able to ball up early and get a little bit of momentum out of the lanes, they should put a lot of pressure on these structures for 4cal, and it's going to rely on a lot of focus fire from 4C and L to be able to bring down some of the more important heroes early on in order to back these pushes off.
So if Moscow 5 are going to go for a super aggressive core right now, what are you thinking? Like, because Troll Warlord, Queen of Pain, these are heroes that can go off in the mid game, but Troll Warlord would much rather like to farm up for a little more of a mid-late stage. So
yeah,
what's the final
this is an
score?
odd pick, but I'd kind of like to see Pugna here. There's a lot of big mana cost spells coming out from 4CNL. RP, Fiend's Grip, Finger of Death would do a lot of work against them. It's able to apply more pressure. It allows the Queen of Pain to kind of sit in the back lines. Troll Warlord pushes well with the Trance, so maybe the Nether Blast is there. Of course, the chances that are actually picked up are probably slim to none. We are paused here for a moment, so maybe ZXC once again drafter for Moscow 5 DCing. But they do have 20 seconds to decide. I would like to see something of that nature, very aggressive. Maybe something with a little more right click. And they do end up picking up the TA here. So, yeah, really nothing to deal with the refraction from 4Cal's side. I like to pick up.
There's spin, there's that's it. Like, that's the only thing that they actually have that's good up against that Templar Assassin shield. I mean, it's nice to have tools that get through that shield. You don't exactly need them. If you have this much disable on 4 Clovers, you can just lock her down and then beat her up the entire time, and that could also get the job done. But for Moscow 5, this is a potentially very aggressive hero. And the great thing about Templar Assassin is that she also enables Troll Warlord a little bit more early on, just with the minus armor. Like, they could clear out Roshan, they could go for kills a lot easier, since Troll Warlord, he typically does tend to build into just an HP-oriented build. He'll be able to do a lot more damage with his Templar Assassin meld helping him out there. So I like how Moscow 5 have capped out their lineup. Honestly, I think it's really hard to say who has a better lineup. Both sides have their very clear strategies, and then it's just going to come down to execution.
I think it's going to be a safe lane Queen of Pain for Moscow 5 with perhaps the aggressive try around the Undying with the Troll, but maybe new player or Axmal going towards the offlane. Seems to be the role for him already. He's picked up a ward, so it's going to be a little bit scary for this Queen of Pain early on into that Nightmare, and then the disables from the Lion as well as the spin, as you mentioned, from the Juggernaut. So we'll see how the Queen of Pain fares already. Axmal may run into the Radiant lineup here. He's going to drop this ward. It probably was scouted out, though, by Yol. However, he does not have sentries on him at the moment.
And the other supports on 4 Clovers, well, they're probably not going to go down to the bottom lane. So this Observer Ward is going to stick. and that'll mean that whoever's on this bottom lane is going to have a free time there. Axmo is getting into a fist fight with Roshan 20 seconds before the creep spawn. That's not what you want to do, but hey, you might as well do it because you can. Oh man, someone ate a tree. How did that tree actually disappear?
4 tangos on everyone. Yeah, it's a little odd.
Roshan doesn't kill trees, does he? Is that something I just missed?
Yol is missing a tango, but I don't know that he got that far out in the river without dying.
I have no idea what just happened, but either way, nothing is going to come around from that. And, well, the creeps are going to spawn, so let's see who's going to be playing what. On the 4 Clovers side, Bambo is going to be playing his Mirana after a great game from Mag. Let's see if he can continue his performance. He'll be helped out by GoBlack's Bane, so a nice 1-2 punch there. Over towards mid lane, it's going to be Hani on the Magnus, and then on the bottom lane, BZZ is going to be on the Juggernaut, and Yol's going to be helping him out as the Lion. Yeah,
we'll see if Hani can live up to the standard set by Bambo in Game 1. Either way, for the Moscow 5 side, they're going to have Axmo, a new player, once again, picking up that Queen of Pain. He's going to be accompanied by Bignum's Undying in an aggressive duel. ZXC going to be playing up in that mid lane on the Templar Assassin. Then over in the safe lane, Slander on the Witch Doctor is going to be helping out his one-position Troll picked up by Tron.
So this bottom lane, this is not really a common dual lane setup. Queen of Pain +1 already kind of rare.
Yeah.
But then that +1 being Undying makes it even rarer still. Yol's going to be is going to have to play things so very carefully. There is a chance of, them getting a Hex off and a spin and a Earth Spike and chain stunning the Queen of Pain to death. That is a very slim chance though, and Moscow 5 with the Undying as a support is not going to be dying in this lane anytime soon unless 4 Clovers bring in someone else, and it seems like that's not going to be a possibility. So though it's an awkward laning setup for Moscow 5, this bottom lane has so much power and survivability that 4 Clovers can't afford to do too much about it.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to see a courier snipe potentially from GoBlack in the mid lane. I would honestly like to see GoBlack go towards the safe lane. I don't think there's any, as I say it, Bambo gets really low, but I don't think there's any kill potential on this Mirana if she keeps her leap up. The cask is going to have to bounce really nicely for Tron to get enough right clicks off to kill off this Mirana. So we'll see if GoBlack opts to go back towards that dual lane or not. Playing very safe with the courier right now is the dire side. They know this Bane is missing out of the lane.
There was an observe ward placed. I don't believe that was spotted, and well, ZXC smells something. So GoBlack making a sneaky play. When you see 3 branches on the enemy mid laner, nothing else, actually nothing else, no tangos even, then well, obviously the enemy is going to go for a fast bottle, and you could try to snipe that out. Would have been difficult but possible, and now it's no longer possible. I agree, GoBlack really shouldn't go up to that top lane. Mirana Bane, as dangerous as it isn't going to be enough to kill off a Witch Doctor. They're going to set up for a Nightmare on TA. However, Hani a little bit too far away to get the skewer back, and ZXC is just going to take a nap and then wake up just fine. GoBlack's going to play a little bit more of a roaming role, but down towards bottom, he can actually help out. If they actually get a Brain Sap on top of that stun combination from Yol, then killing off Axmo is a lot easier. Still difficult, but a lot more possible. So it'll allow this bottom lane for 4CL to actually stick and at least contest this farm, because right now the Juggernaut I expect to be in a little bit of trouble. Although they get the Hex on a new player, that should be the name of the game for the entirety of the game. Queen of Pain just blinks out nice and clean.
Yeah, Bambo going to hit a nice arrow onto Tron. Just going to be an annoying one. About a 4-second arrow top lane as he's farming up the large camp. But Bambo already finding quite a bit of experience. Level 3.5 up on the Mirana. Axmo 2.5 on the Queen of Pain. Bignum just eclipsed level 2 a little while ago. So Bambo doing pretty well. Go back a little bit underfarmed, of course, as he's been roaming around. But he does return himself to the top lane. So we'll see if this ends up paying off for 4Cal. Either way, ZXC starting to accrue some of these last hits mid lane as he's bottle crowing 13 and 5 to the 14 of 2 and 2 of Hani. So Hani farming well regardless. ZXC sitting up there though comfortably.
And it doesn't look like this is going to be a huge game of rotations. Mirana Bane, a very deadly roaming combo. However, not when you're running 2 of them on the top lane. Because if you see the enemies missing, well, I wonder where they could possibly be. You should probably fall back from there if you're Moscow 5. So, though they do have heroes that can get pick-offs, they don't really have heroes in the right positions, in the right lanes that can get those pick-offs. So, it's going to be a super passive early start. BZZ maybe a little struggling a little bit more than he really should be right now. But for both sides to be playing passively, it's going to be fine for a little while. Blink Dagger eventually, however, will be picked up on Hani. Maybe the same on ZXC, but I think it's more likely that this Templar Assassin goes for, you know, the race car build drums just to get a little more survivability. Either way, it doesn't seem like either side has many plans for aggression, at least not until they get more experience.
Yeah, pretty passive early game indeed. ZXC going to walk towards bottom to secure this rune a little bit early. Also going to stack up some Ancients for his squad later on. Pretty efficient play from him. He'll pick up the bounty rune. Hani going to pick up the illusion top lane. So both mid laners picking one of those up. And yeah, as you mentioned, pretty stagnant early game. It seems like BZZ is kind of falling a little bit behind on his Juggernaut. Of course, not the easiest hero to last hit with early on. Tombstone's going to be dropped underneath the tower. They're going to jump forward for Yol. And Axmo is underneath the tower, is going to get impaled up, pretty much out of mana and no blink for another 9 seconds. Yol going to get the Hex off. BZZ wants none of this. Rotating out to the west, and the Soul Rip will finish off Yol. First blood going Moscow 5's way.
Even with the perfectly positioned healing ward there from BZZ in the trees, invisible to Moscow 5, they probably knew about it because of the healing, but still Lion is a clunky hero. He does have his boots, so he's not as vulnerable as he could possibly be, but you can't really afford to run away from that many heroes, both of which do have boots and Queen of Pain has blink. So it is awkward initiation, just trying to bust through the tree to the tombstone, but again, it's going to be Yol to die on this bottom lane, if anyone is to die at all. And Yol, seemingly recognizing that, is going to leave the bottom lane to BZZ and instead go towards top lane. Bambo and Go Black, that lane really doesn't have much kill potential against these two heroes. But add a Lion into the mix and suddenly your kill potential skyrockets. Bambo, he's going to not set up for the arrow. In fact, the Nightmare times out. Now Bambo's dropping very low. Has a leap, will be just fine. Yol trying to close in right now as they do chuck the arrow. Tron will dodge and slander. He'll be the one to get hit by the spike. However, with the heal on, he's going to be just fine. Tron going to look to ward everyone else away. Gets the body block onto Yol. Doesn't have any whirling axes left, but he gets a lucky bash. And with the phase boots, Lion's going to walk up to his death. And Bambo is lucky to get out of there alive. Slander going for 2 points in that Voodoo Restoration, and he's certainly getting benefits off of it. So a failed gank there from 4 Clovers, a massively failed one. So they also have to base with the Mirana.
I feel like that's a big misstep from Bambo there after monster play in game 1. He could have hit a point-blank arrow on Slander, and although it wouldn't have stunned him for very long, it certainly would have brought him very low, probably a few right clicks kill him off. But they get greedy, want to go for the Troll Warlord, and miss the arrow there, and they end up feeding Yol, and as well having to rotate the Mirana back to base to heal, as you mentioned. So a lot of wasted time from their side. Leaves BZZ vulnerable in the bot lane as well, and he does have some bottle charges being given to him by Bambo now, so we'll be okay, but nonetheless.
Arrow from Bambo being held right now. Yol's going to wrap around. Hex is their arrow. Not used, but Omni-Slash will. Arrow will connect onto a zombie, absorbing that for Bignum, but he's still in a little bit of trouble. Can't even get the decay off. He will go down. Bambo surprising the Moscow 5 side, and of course that Omni-Slash at level 6, hitting nothing but heroes, is most likely going to get kills whenever that happens. So Moscow 5 perhaps going a little bit too deep on this bottom lane. I mean, they just lost sight of Yol because he died, and Rana had to base, so they didn't expect all those heroes to be there. Yet still, for BZZ, he's going to be very happy that that happened. Has his phase boots now completed. Over towards mid, ZXC going to get tagged with an arrow. However, their fraction is up, so he took no damage from that arrow. And the arrow, though it is only level 1, it needs to do some damage if it's actually going to get the kill. ZXC going to shrug that one off. TP canceled in the mid lane, but still, this Templar Assassin is farming very, very happily right now on top of the last hit chart, on top of the net worth chart. So ZXC working under no pressure, and so far 4 Clovers haven't really applied any of it, and it looks like they won't in the future either, at least not substantially so.
Yeah, they try to give Gold Black some space in the mid lane as well, but he's going to have to back off up against a TA that wasn't brought down to that sleep and arrow combo. So Hani was finding some space in the top lane, does have his RP available to him. They can set it up with a Nightmare, but don't know yet that there's enough follow-up for it. He's going to scarily stop cast it, but either way, we're going to see some rotations out towards this mid lane from Slander, and maybe he's just looking to pick up some experience to find his death ward now. ZXC continuing to stack up these Ancients, and is going to find the bot rune as well.
And in the meantime, bottom lane, a very simple, pretty much solo dive from Axmo. Again, it's going to be Yol to die, if anyone is going to die at all, and he has 100% of the team's deaths, so Yol, stop feeding, please. But Axmo just blinking forward, Sonic Wave, Scream and Pain, very easy kill there, level 6 hero versus level 4 hero. And with that hero being the Queen of Pain, Bignum sitting right next to this TP is going to spot Bambo coming in. He doesn't react, however, Bambo's going to get the very easy tower deny. Not an easy feat with Mirana. Very slow projectile, very clunky, and not that much damage either. I got to assume they saw that TP in, so unless I was like mistaken. It seemed like he was standing right next to it and should have seen that circle.
Yeah, definitely so. Seems like he had vision for it. Nice play by Bambo regardless. Cheeky little play to deny up some gold. He's going to smoke up. And they're going to scout Roshan, but obviously the TA not in there. They maybe didn't see Tron in lane for the moment, so feeling that the TA and the Troll able to do so, which they are with the Morbid Mask up onto Tron and the minus armor available to ZXC with the meld. Bot lane though, Impale going to go out onto Bignum. Point blank arrow in his face. Starfall will be there as well as the Hex. Should be an easy kill on the Undying. Bignum going to stick up and Soul Rip as well just to delay things out. He's going to try and get the Tombstone down, but he won't be able to make it away. Actually, Omni Slash going to be expended by BZZ just to secure the kill, but either way, nice pick off on the Undying, but a lot of commitment coming out from the side of Forcal.
Yeah, Undying, he's so tanky, and we saw that problem arise for Clovers right there. They had to use Omni Slash, and they really didn't want to. They get a kill, so it's not going to bother them too much, but Undying being jumped like that, any hero being jumped like that should die without having to use that Omni. But Undying with his ability to heal himself and sustain himself with his decay, very unique. New player, Axmo, on bottom lane is in a very awkward position right now. They should know where this Queen of Pain is, although they might think that she left. Bignum is going to get spiked up one more time. This time the arrow will whiff, and Bambo with the Moonlight Shadow will disengage with the rest of the team, forcing out a TP from Slander even. Moscow 5 is going to bring in the cavalry down towards bottom lane, but it will be ZXC to run into the enemies first. He'll spot them as the Moonlight Shadow dissolves, and then that's going to be, well, everyone's retreat. This is an awkward TP for Moscow 5 since now they have a whole bunch of heroes in the bottom lane with no tier 1 tower to take. Roshan would be the objective right now, but the Troll Warlord is still occupied up towards top, so if they do go for this Roshan, it's going to be dangerous. And here comes the arrow. Hani's here with an RP, which will connect onto all three. He's not using it? What? Death Ward is going to be used. They see Hani now, and they'll kill him off. Hani, so hesitant, so greedy. I guess he didn't really have that much backup in, but still, it's a 3-man RP. You could secure him all up to the high ground and just be happy with that. He dies, and he's forced to buy back, and Moscow 5 get away. He had a 3-man RP there. I wasn't crazy, right? Like, that was a clean RP.
Yeah, when you have a 3-man RP, you take it regardless. And you should know that more often than not, there's going to be some form of detection or at least vision around the Roshan pit. So yeah, odd play from Hani and smart play from Moscow 5. They don't need to take this Rosh right now. So taking that buyback on the mid lane Magnus is a big win for them. Sets him way far back from this Blink Dagger. 11 minutes in, 600 gold on this Magnus. And Hani is going to be very late on that Blink Dagger. Meanwhile, Tron completely free farming the top lane. Isn't worried about any of this. Has the Aquila and the Phase boots up, building into that casual Yasha on top of presumably what will be an H-Dom as well. So already things looking very good for M5. RP mid lane is going to go out onto ZXC. They're going to skewer him back towards the tower, and the Fiend's Grip will be here. Should be a dead TA. Shockwave available as well. They're able to bring him down. Jump forward from Axmo was a little bit overzealous. Goldblack going to be able to get underneath the tower. Soul Rip brings him pretty low though, and the Sonic Wave does connect. Shadow Strike going to finish him off. Nice deny though from Hani coming out.
Yeah, they get the kill on Templar Assassin. Fiend's Grip, first usage, and when the Templar Assassin's all alone, when anyone is all alone, that's going to be a kill. Yol gonna run into a whole bunch of heroes, but he grabs a lucky rune haste, saves him. Anything else, well, maybe Invis saves him as well, but he's gonna walk away regardless of that fact. Killing off the Templar Assassin, her first death. It's nice for 4CL, but at this point, Templar Assassin, like, she's not even the only threat. They also have to address Tron up towards top lane, who's so far been working with, for the most part, 1v1, 1v0 lanes. So he's working with a lot of gold as well. Yasha, Helmet Dominator not quite up, but Yol and the Haste Rune still is going to be rotating in under cover of Moonlight Shadow. There is a random sentry here. In fact, 2 random sentries for the Dire side. However, no vision here, so they're not going to see anything. But they will see this Observer Ward being placed once the creep wave comes in. That's a little bit awkward, so I wonder where the 4 Clover side can be. It's really a mystery, but Moscow 5, they can still go for this Roshan, or they could just continue on farming. I don't think 4 Clovers are getting enough farm or applying enough pressure. They could be doing either, but they're not doing either right now. ZXC gonna catch Go Black with the Psionic Trap. Nightmare already been used. Tron looking at closing with the Whirling Axes, but ZXC gets an arrow to the dome, and he will be awkwardly standing there. He can't continue on with this chase, but they're still getting a lot more farm than 4 Clovers are.
Yeah, and we really do see the fruits of the draft there. Usually you're going to jump in on that TA if you have any more than 2 heroes, but the refraction is just so hard to deal with for this Radiant side. And nice dodge on the Shadow Strike by Bambo with that leap back, but just going to stymie the aggression for now. And ZXC does pick up that Midas because he's really not feeling pressured very often. You saw the one time they're able to kill him. They have to expend both the Fiend's Grip and the RP on him. So ZXC going to look pretty scary in this one. Mask of Madness picked up, though, by BZZ now, and there is a double stack of Ancients, so look for them to continue to stack that up. Hani walking up to the high ground now with the 2 levels in Empower, and the Mask of Madness should be a nice amount of farm coming the Juggernaut's way sometime soon.
But at the same time, while that's happening, Tron ZXC going to go into the Roche Spawn pit. Random Healing Ward is going to scout this out. But with the Meld being maxed out and with Tron and his damage output, I think they'll be able to clear this out, especially if they grab DD. But no, it's going to be the Juggernaut to swipe it. He's going to back off right now. Omnislash is available. However, it's only level 1, and Tombstone is down in a very, very defensible position from Bignum. So this, even though they would like to go in, it's a little bit too late. Now they have to face up against 2 Trons. However, Hani's going to come in. RP on to do with the Omnislash. Tron taking a beating right now. However, that's the Aegis. Sonic Wave onto 4. Plus the Tombstone still spawning zombies right now. BZZ dropping very low, and the zombies are swarming right now. They're going to kill off the Bane. They're going to kill off the Juggernaut, and they might also kill off Yol because it's always the lion to die. Cass going to slow him down. New player has another blink in 2 seconds. He will blink up to the high ground. Yol has no mana right now. No, they'll make a mistake and blink to the left. It seems like they just got fogged a little bit, but it's a 1 for 3. I guess Moscow 5 do lose the Aegis, but that's pretty much what it's for. Beautiful Sonic Wave there from Axmo, and it's really just the Tombstone, I think, that won that fight for Moscow 5.
Yeah, and a lot of the Omnislash soaked up by that first life of Tron with the Aegis, so it's a little bit odd to see 4-cal go in. Maybe it's just better for them to concede that one, but either way, they feed over a big win to M5 side, and already in excess of 5k in the way of net worth, gained as an advantage by Moscow 5. 15 minutes in, they're looking very strong. Midas up on ZXC as well, meaning his death will be a little less costly to M5 side than perhaps one of the other cores. So things looking very good for M5. The Tri-Core is sitting at the top of the net worth chart now.
Well, for 4 Clovers, finally Hani picks up his Blink Dagger. It would have maybe helped out to get, a slightly better RP, but really the RPs, the opportunities for RP rather, for Hani have been there despite his lack of Blink Dagger. So even though it's nice to have, so far he could have been performing pretty much equally without or with this item. They're going to smoke up with the Yol as well as go black and look towards top lane. Witch Doctor is, however, backing up ZXC, so if they decide to commit this Fiend's Grip, it's not going to last for very long. And right now, for Clovers, they don't know that there's a Witch Doctor up here. Looks like ZXC will smell something coming, and well, they'll back off at least for right now. Juggernaut is taking a beating from the dragons in the ancient pit right now, but he'll be just fine. And still, 4 Clovers with just 2 supports are in a pretty vulnerable position right now. Bambo, in the meantime, is going to get dagged down by the Queen of Pain. This is actually a pretty sweet item pickup. I like it in this game. They'll take down Mirana on the middle lane, over towards top. Slander's still hidden. These 2 supports desperately looking for something, but they can't find anyone.
Yeah, I love the Dagon pickup here. There's no real natural BKB carriers. There's no heroes that want to carry BKB in this one. Cass going to bounce through to the north, so keeps Yol up for a bit. Finger of Death not going to bring Slander down, though. The Nightmare will keep ZXC back from killing Yol off, and jump through with the RP, and the Fiend's Grip is actually going to kill off ZXC. The Death Ward's still doing so much work, though, and the Sonic Wave coming through from Axmo is going to finish 2 off. Gold Black will be able to rotate out, but Hani just tanking up that Death Ward there. And I don't know if it's worth the Templar Assassin kill at this point. 2 for 1 goes the way of Moscow 5. 3 for 1, actually, with the early death on Bambo.
And Sonic Wave collecting huge there for this Axmo Queen of Pain. It's unfortunate, of course, that Moscow 5 loses Templar Assassin. She has Hand of Midas available to her, so that's gold that she's sitting on, but she can't quite cash into just yet. But still killing off the Magnus, killing off the Lion there, showing off some early game power with the Death Ward, and 4 Clovers, perhaps not skewing their target as far back as they really need to, are going to get cleaned up once again. And this is, fine for Moscow 5 again, because their Troll Warlord is still farming it up. He has Sanjin Yasha now completed. Maybe Helmet of the Dominator as a very easy, effective item pickup for him, but Tron has yet to really get fully involved in these fights, with the exception being in that Roche pit. Once he actually does pick up 1, 2 more items perhaps, then 4 Clovers are going to be a lot more on the defensive than they have been right now. So Moscow 5, they're sitting on quite a lot of threat right now, and it looks like they might be grouping up in the mid lane. ZXC, he hasn't picked up an item recently except for that Yasha. Not really a fantastic item. Or at least it's a good item, but it's not really going to swing things too heavily in his favor. He's still farming it up, but he might get jumped now. Yol looking to close in with the spike. Won't quite find the range, however.
Yeah, in the river, Bambo's going to run into Axmo. The arrow's going to whiff as well. Dagon in one right click there. That level 2 Dagon already doing work from Axmo, and Bambo having a super underwhelming game thus far on the Mirana. Elsewhere, BZZ looking to farm up bot lane, but he's going to be his push going to be stymied by this Undying, and they're going to have to look to defend up top. Deny does come through from BZZ. Well played by him there.
That's the second tower deny, I believe, for Clovers. So they're taking a lot of gold out of the pockets of Moscow 5. Yet even with those 2 tower denies, 7-point K in lead with both gold and experience, Moscow 5 have a substantial advantage. I guess for Clovers, they should be happy that it's not any more than that. But still, Moscow 5 are sitting pretty right now. And really, for the late game, they're pretty much sitting pretty as well. Yeah, the Mag RP is dangerous, but Mirana late game, especially when she's off to this slow of a start, is going to be pretty much completely irrelevant. Juggernaut's ramp is going to be threatening, but not anything that a Troll Warlord can't handle, especially with so much burst and healing support, especially. Like, they have the Soul Rip, they have the Witch Doctor. That is quite a bit of extra sustain from Tron. So, for Clovers, they really have to make a couple of more plays. I think it's about time that they smoke up with Hani and try to look for an RP. Maybe even just a one-man RP at this point will be worth it.
Yeah, killing off Tron would be very nice for them at this point. There's still no Roshan insight for the next couple of minutes, however, so maybe 4Cal waiting till it's a little bit closer to the respawn to look for a pickoff. They do have their Juggernaut farming pretty well at this point. The 3 levels in Empower helping him to do so. He does have his next item flying out, I believe. Yeah, it's just the completion of the Manta at this point for BZZ. Of course, no Orchid to the Queen of Pain, though, so not going to be as effective as it would generally against the Cop. Already that 3rd level of Dagon up for Axmo, and he's top lane, invised up, looking for blood, but not going to find anyone quite yet.
I think it was spotted out by 4 Clovers Observer Ward. I might be wrong about that, but either way, Queen of Pain most likely not going to find anyone. If she does, most of the heroes on 4 Clovers are going to be 100 to 0, 300 from the Scream. You get a little bit more than that, 390 on the Sonic Wave. She'll throw everything towards the Mirana. Sonic Wave, Dagon level 3, no Scream of Pain necessary, clean blink out. And for Bambo, he doesn't even have time to react. He's just instantly dead. No time for leap, no time for stick charges. And it's going to be a very clean in and out there from Moscow 5. And new player Axmo can do that to the Lion, to the Bane. Hell, even the Mag is vulnerable to that. They'll run into the Bane, speaking of, and he's going to get chopped down. RP, though, from Hani. Going to connect onto 2. However, there's not much follow-up here. There's a Skewer back Tombstone, though, and the Dagon Blast will kill off the Bane, canceling the Fiend's Grip. Finger of Death onto Tron. Will get that kill from Yul, but now he's going to get chased down by Bignum and Slan at the same time. Well, Hani's going to make his retreat. It will be Yul to take a fall right now. He'll be brought down by the Undying, making it an overall 2 for 1 for 4 Clovers. That's actually not that bad considering
the best
they committed for that, and they killed off the Troll, so that was actually pretty decent for them.
That's actually the best it could have gone, I feel, for them in that engagement. No stuns available to them to bring down Goldblack, who was pretty damn low. The Dagon doing work there once again for Axmo to bring him down, but he gets off the grip long enough for the finger to come through and finish him off. I even thought maybe Yol makes it out with the TP there, but Queen of Pain rotating him with that Scream and is able to bring down the Lion, who's pretty squishy at this point. So yeah, I think that goes as well as it could have for 4Cal. Still a win nonetheless for Moscow 5, and they're going to pick up the Blink on their TA now at this point. And we touched upon how difficult it is for them to deal with Refraction, so ZXC should be able to get very aggressive and also should be very survivable with this Blink tool available to him now.
Well, they're going to Moonlight Shadow up. I think this is completely hidden to the Moscow 5 side. They don't have any vision in the area. Bambo has already used his arrow, so we won't have that one. However, they do see the Queen of Pain. Blink forward from Yol. Fresh item, and they will get the spike and Onyx Slash on the Queen of Pain, giving up a monster kill streak. Somehow the Bane grabs it. Take no chances when you're dealing with Queen of Pain, but that kill would have been huge for the Juggernaut to grab. Yeah. Bane can't really use that gold. So a little bit unfortunate there for 4 Clovers, but hey, a kill is a kill, and at this point they're going to take whatever they can get, especially if it's on the Queen of Pain. So a successful Moonlight Shadow kill for the 4 Clover side. They can't get much done off of this one. And Moscow 5, though losing the Queen of Pain is bad, it's mostly just because she has a streak. She is not really going to go for any sort of substantial late game play. She's here in this game right now to 100 to 0 one person, and then, you know, maybe wait for another cooldown to do a little bit more damage. But really, as long as the Troll Warlord and Templar Assassin are surviving, for Moscow 5, they're okay with losing the Queen of Pain if it means that they get to live with other heroes.
Yeah, they've scouted Roshan spawning as well with this Ionic Trap, and they'll drop Tron into the pit all by his lonesome for the time being. ZXC going to port in mid lane, maybe to his doom. Two-man RP there from Hani. Skewer is a little bit off the mark. He's going to have to back up. He does eventually find it. Impale is there as well as the Hex. Even the Fiend's Grip going to be committed. They get a gem out of it as well, and the buyback's going to be forced out from Bignum, but everyone from Forkal just going to disengage. Sonic Wave will finish off Yol with the long-range Dagon, but it's just a consolation prize at this point. Buyback forced out, gem on the deck as well. It should mean Roshan will be secured by M5, though, all the cooldowns being down by Forkal, but still, it's a nice win for Forkal to take, and it's going to allow BZZ to continue farming away 3,800 gold on this Juggernaut, level 16 as well.
That was perhaps a little bit of a premature buyback there from Bignum, yet on an Undying right now, he already has a lot more than Undyings usually have. With a Vit Booster and a Ghost Scepter, he's naturally tanky to start things off, and now he's even more tanky given those items. So they're going to be still okay with that situation, since you don't really need additional items as the Undying. They'll clean up the Aegis, clean up Roshan rather, give up the Aegis to the Troll Warlord, and then instantly smoke up. I believe this was, however, spotted by the Radiant Observer Ward, but it won't help Go Black, not a bit. He's going to get blasted down. Illusions and the Shadow Strike going to get the kill, and Bignum's going to grab his gem back. That's actually Go Black's gem, so never mind. Bignum going to dodge a spike, dodge an arrow, and it looks like Moscow 5 will get the Roshan and a free pick off on the Bane on their retreat. Perhaps ZXC, though, up towards top is in a little bit of trouble. He has Meld, though, and Meld will keep him safe unless an arrow were to land. Bambo lining it up is actually going to Moonlight Shadow the Juggernaut in. Blink out from ZXC, though, right down the river. Hani looking to close in. Arrows coming in. ZXC will dodge it pretty easily as well. And well, while they're wasting their time chasing after a Wild Goose over towards mid lane, Moscow 5 are bringing down a tower.
Yeah, Glyph is going to be forced out. Tombstone drop, blink forward is going to bring Yol very low. No Shadow Strike, though. Going to be able to land from the Queen of Pain. So Yol makes it out, but it secures the tier 2 nonetheless for M5 side. Already looking to pressure with the advantage of the Aegis there. Tron just about to find that level 16. The Dagon is now level 5 as well from Maximo, and they're looking very scary. The M5 side is the high ground defense is decent for Forkal, but as we alluded to in the draft, a lot of single target here, so they are going to have their focus fire ready, and things like the cask from the Witch Doctor should be able to disrupt up the Fiend's Grip if they're not able to get him into that RP, and generally you expect Slender to be far on the back lines. This Witch Doctor's picked up his Ogre Axe as well as a point booster, so at some point he's going to be doing a lot of damage with that Death Ward.
And for 4 Clovers, someone like a Bane, not really a super mobile hero, is going to be staying still in a lot of those fights. So that is a free target for Slander to just keep on firing away with. And for 4 Clovers, they don't really have many easy ways of canceling the Witch Doctor ultimate. They have some ways, but Arrow is a clunky way. Spike is probably going to be used first in the fight, so you don't really want to save that skill. So this Death Ward from Slander, should it come up in a timely fashion, is going to be big game for the Moscow 5 side. Also did some quick math from the Queen of Pain. She's sitting at about 1,200 damage. That's after resistances, so 1,200 damage will be funneled into the likes of Bambo. That's a 1-hit kill on him. That's pretty much a 1-hit kill on the Bane as well. I'm a little bit off, so it might not be exactly 1-hit kill, but still, the fact that it's AoE and the fact that she has a Shadow Strike on top of the Instant Burst combo means that Queen of Pain is sitting on a cannon right now. She'll blink forward, tag in Bane. It's just a warning shot, but you know what? You bring the Pain down to half HP, you're probably going to take a tower afterwards. Hani is Shadow Bladed up right now. There is, however, a Sentry Ward on the deck for the Dire side, so if Hani steps up, that can very easily be his doom. There's an arrow flying through, which isn't going to connect anyone. Mostly a scouting arrow right now. Juggernaut picks up a butterfly. Big item pickup here for 4 Clovers since they're just about to get into a fight. But will it be good enough? Hani's still hidden. He has an angle on Tron, angle on ZXC, but that's about it. He's going to have to get a good skewer. He's going to reveal himself, and now he's just going to get torn to shreds. Blink forward, Scream Pain, Sonic Wave, going to whiff as Hani is stuck in the corner now. Sentry's dropped, and he's going to die. I guess in that situation you don't move or else you die, but Yol's going to get jumped on. 2 shots, not quite going to kill him off, but with a third they definitely will. BZZ going to let loose into ZXC, however it will fall short. Tron going to dodge an arrow, actually as Slander's the one to take it. Omni Slash through will kill off that poor Witch Doctor and will take out the Aegis, but now it's going to be BZZ on the run. Moonlight Shadow from Bambo will keep everyone alive, but the Troll's going to pop right back up again. Without their Witch Doctor, they're facing up against a 4v3 with no Omni Slash. Moscow 5 can go for a little bit more right now, especially since new player still has his Dagon. Such a low cooldown on that level 5, and they will see a couple of targets right now. Decrease the strength, blink forward, BZZ, dead in an instant. Actually, no, not an instant. He will survive for a little while longer, but he still will go down in the end. Bean's Grip onto new player, not going to do that much, and it will cost Go Black his life as Bambo, now the sole survivor of 4 Clovers, going to get pushed out by ZXC. Tron, for the most part, ignoring all of that and deciding to go for what matters, the tier 3 and the Raxes. Hani has 10 seconds until he respawns. They have a Finger of Death, but no one's in Finger of Death range right now. Moscow 5 are going to get away with a huge victory. Arrow is actually going to fly through onto Tron. Finger of Death will take out the Troll Warlord. Blink forward from Bambo. He'll leap in and then run out. They kill off the Troll Warlord as a consolation prize for 4 Clovers. That's nice and everything, but Moscow 5, they get exactly what they came for. A monstrous team fight from them, and now they're at a substantial advantage, even more so than they were before.
Yeah, I really don't know why 4Cal looks to mount a defense on that tier 2 there. They feed over Hani. They don't have the RP available to them right away, and that's a huge loss for them, taking that full lane of Rax advantage 29 minutes in. They deal decently with these super creeps having the Juggernaut in power up, but still big advantage going M5's way, and no access points to the Roshan pit now available to the Radiant side either. Felt like their high ground defense much stronger than a tier 2 defense, and yeah, Shadowblade not so effective against the Sentry Ward, so M5 really good on them to be able to take that engagement. A lot of patience from them. As you mentioned, Tron just sitting back, taking the objectives while the rest of his team creates space, and it's going to give them a lot of item progression as well. Full Manta up on ZXC in addition to that Demon Edge now, so MKB already going to be a pretty quick response to BZZ's Butterfly.
Right, so Templar Assassin sitting on a whole bunch of damage. Troll Warlord closing in on his Scotty. He's still an ultimate orb away, so he's not that close, but he's getting there. Really, I'm not sure how much I like the Shadowblade in this game. Last game, Bambo got it. He was already very far ahead on the mag, so he already had the Force Staff. And you're going into, side lane. It's going to be Bambo dodging, actually, that Sonic Wave, but it's the Juggernaut to be focused down. There is a Ghost Scepter from Bignum. Tron will take the most part of this Omnislash. Healed up, not quite enough. Death Ward still being channeled. RP onto his only Slander, however, BZ is still alive. And Bignum on the retreat will take hit with the Finger of Death, skewer back on a Slander into a Hornet's Nest. New player will snag 1 kill. Where's the Templar Assassin in all this? She's arriving a little bit late. She's going to blink in, however, look to go for this Bane. Couple hits, they'll take that kill. Axmo is going to wake up soon enough, and they'll go straight for Bambo, who has no leap, has no invis. She should be chased down and brought down, but not without a fight. She'll take out the Witch Doctor beforehand. A 3 for 2 in favor of 4 Clovers. Mostly because Moscow 5 just don't have all of their heroes there at the right place at the right time. So it's a lucky break, I suppose, for 4 Clovers, but they need a little bit of a better fight than that if they're actually going to come back into this game, because they don't kill off this Templar Assassin, and she's the real danger right now.
It took way too long for them to cancel that Death Ward. I feel like that was the largest time channeled to damage ratio I've ever seen from a Witch Doctor. I feel like everyone just continued to survive, but so much damage dealt, or so much time channeled for that Death Ward there. With the Healing Ward keeping up the jug, I feel like Hani maybe should have kept his RP there and just skewered Slander out of it. But either way, it's hard to say when you're actually in the team fight. So things still do go, it seems, 4Cal's way, but they lose the Juggernaut at the end of things, and the cleanup crew does end up finally making it to the engagement for M5. So Tron going down there is pretty big deal. He also expends his 9-second BKB charge, but still 4Cal should have taken a much better engagement there for the initiation scenario that they were given.
And soon enough, this Witch Doctor's ultimate is going to be Aghanim, so should Slander find himself in a similar situation, 4 Clovers will all just die instead of just be heavily wounded. And that is kind of testament to the fact that they do not have easy ways of canceling this Witch Doctor's ultimate. They don't have a Fissure or like a Blink Burst Strike or something like that, which is, at this point, 4 Clovers would kill for something like that. But Slander can get away with no BKB, because if he does get his ward cancelled, it's most likely going to force someone out of position or force them to commit a spell that they would be used suboptimally. So Witch Doctor closing in on that one is only 500, 400 gold now away from that. Moscow 5 should be waiting for the next round of items before they make any sort of aggressive play. Here's one big one. It's the MKB completed for the Templar Assassin. They should also wait for this Eye of Scotty to come out on the Troll Warlord, just so that he can tank through an Omnislash a little bit more convincingly next time. So once those items come up on Moscow 5, Roshan should be close to respawning, and then it's game time for 4 Clovers. They need to take an amazing Roche pit fight, because if they don't, they're going to be under siege, and they might very well lose their set of Raxes.
Yeah, and they need to jump into the pit before Roshan is taken down in this one for sure. That extra Aegis is going to mean Moscow 5, 99 times out of 100 will win that engagement, so Either way, they are going to have to be diligent about the vision here. M5 already massing around the pit. It is going to be another minute till Roshan respawns, but they're going to look to push in this bot lane and deny up any access from the side of 4Cal. They do have the Moonlight Shadow at their disposal, though, so they should be able to get over to the pit sometime soon, and they need to be really, really careful about chilling up in this top lane, as Roshan could be even up right now.
And when the Roshan is up, Moscow 5 will know immediately with those traps up towards top. 4 Clovers doing what they can to pressure the Moscow 5 away from that Roche pit. But while they're doing that, the creeps are doing pretty much the exact same thing by themselves. They're going to catch Go Black on their retreat. Dag and Blast, not quite going to kill him off, but Sonic Wave will do him in eventually. Bane down, no grip available to this team fight. Should a team fight break out in 4 Clovers, they do use the Moonlight Shadow, trying to save their Bane, and it does end up failing. Roshan going to respawning momentarily, and maybe 4 Clovers will be able to defend, but up towards top, the tower does get destroyed. So I guess that's a good trade for 4 Clovers, trading a Bane for a tier 2. They catch Yol, though, or at least they see him. No way to interrupt that TP. A little bit late incoming on all of their heroes. No burst there for the Queen of Pain. So no more casualties here for 4 Clovers, but Roshan, he's going to respawn, and Moscow 5, they're a little bit too far away to instantly grab it. So 4 Clovers, they have a chance to contest this. It's a slim one, but hey, when you have an empowered Juggernaut with Omnislash, anything's possible in the Roche pit.
At least they delay up Moscow 5's ability to encroach upon the pit by forcing them over to the top lane. So Go Black's played a little bit poorly for my liking in this one. Yeah, that one time dying up on the high ground when he had a gem and knew there was vision of him right after the first Roche death was a little odd, and that positioning odd as well. Bambo gonna be, you know, dagging down as he has been quite a few times in this one, and that's going to secure an easy Roche for M5. And we were just talking about how significant it is for 4Cal to be taking this fight in the pit, and now having it this effortless for M5 really doesn't bode well for their ability to take this game.
I'm not really sure why Bambo was there. I guess just trying to get into a position to, you know, catch someone with an awkward arrow angle and get a good initiation off with that, but well, losing your Mirana, not really a great way to start off a potential Roche fight, especially the third Roshan of the game. They're going to give the Aegis towards the Troll Warlord and the Cheese towards the Templar Assassin. Maybe I would have liked to see them swap that around just a little bit, since Troll Warlord does have the Eye of Scotty, but either way, they have a lot of extra survivability on their heroes, and they will mobilize up towards the top lane. I like this choice from Moscow 5 because, well, first of all, there's a tier 2 tower here. You got to get rid of that eventually, but also because bottom lane, there is a decent-sized creep wave that's pushing in, and for 4Cal, they don't really have a great team comp to very easily clear off the bottom and still defend top lane. Juggernaut with the cleave is going to be the one to do it, but he will do it, well, when he's gone, that momentary lapse, it's going to be free damage and maybe even a free team fight for Moscow 5. So here comes the top lane push. And 4Cal, Hani, I think he has a lot of pressure right now. He's going to have to land a pretty good RP. Dire Courier is sniped out, so a nice good start, I suppose, for 4Cal. But Bambo going to get chased out by Bignum. Tombstone is down. Hani, right now, still off to the side, is invisible right now. And, well, Tombstone will be destroyed. That's a big asset down. Tron ZXC still working into that tower as Bignum's walking around in Flesh Golem. It is slowly starting to time out. Blink forward, RP onto 2, Omnislash as well. They'll take down the Undying immediately. Tron also dropping very low in the meantime, but he popped the BKB and he'll turn around. The cast gonna bounce and stun up. Go Black, Death Ward gonna be interrupted as well. Moscow 5 have lost 3. They've lost 4. They might even lose the Troll Warrior, although he's really far away, really quick. He didn't have a chance to use that Aegis. Templar Assassin didn't have a chance to use the Cheese. And for 4Cal, they defend huge on that top lane as they take a 1-for-4 trade. 4,000 gold, 10,000 experience swing, and that's what they have to do in order to win this game.
Yeah, big play from Hani, the first RP of that magnitude we've seen come out from him in this one, and it comes in a very timely manner. A little bit odd from M5. They kind of took quite a bit of damage on Tron, and he's forced out a bit when that RP happened, so doesn't get enough of his damage off, doesn't even get to expend the Aegis. TA also dropping before able to use the Cheese, so still, M5 can definitely take a fight once they respawn up, but no buyback on the Queen of Pain, no buyback on the TA means at least this tier 2 is going to go down in the favor of 4Cal.
Yeah, and that's probably going to be all they actually get. The tier 1 bottom lane is actually still alive. If they were in a better position, they could have easily swiped that one, but still the creeps are pushing in. Tron, not in a great position right now, and he doesn't have a TP scroll, so this could be a really sticky situation for the Troll Warlord. There is no RP, but there is a Diffusal Blade on the Juggernaut. They'll intercept Tron, or at least they will see Tron. Tron will see them. He'll book it the other direction. They did not actually see the Troll Warlord. They'll swoop in, take the tier 1, no backdoor protection for tier 1 towers. And Tron, honestly, lucky to get out of there with his life. Because if he died right there, most likely he would die twice.
Yep, BBZ available there with the Diffusal Blade means there's no way he's getting away from that. But Juggernaut's starting to get a little bit scary now, sitting on top of the net worth, has 5,500 gold in his pocket, so can look to pick up his next item at this point, and should be a very useful one for the Juggernaut. Maybe he opts for a Scotty of his own, maybe anticipates the butterfly onto the troll at some point and gets a preemptive MKB, but either way should be a very influential one. BZZ out bot lane is going to have to TP back and defend. As we mentioned before, the respawns, Aegis and Cheese still available to M5, so they're not going to waste any time trying to make this high ground push. Jump forward though, RP onto Tron, Dagon comes through, but it's not going to be enough to bring down the Magnus. Sonic Wave doing a lot of damage, but the Moonlight Shadow keeping everyone safe. An instant impale from the Lion onto Tron, and they're going to knock him down with the right clicks, but the BKB keeps him alive. Slender with a big death ward from the low ground, but a lot of illusions soaking it up. BZZ is going to go down. He does have buyback though, is going to expend it immediately. Arrow going to fly through, hits on a zombie, and going to stifle the aggression from 4Cal at this point. Range Rack's going to take a lot of damage, is going to go down here. No RP available, no Fiend's Grip as well to the Radiant side, and now the Racks will finally go down. Skewer onto 2 though, is there from the Magnus. Yol going to get dropped with the burst damage. BZZ trying to man up against Tron, will be able to bring him down, but with the Mask of Madness is pretty susceptible himself. Gets run back, but a blink forward in the Sonic Wave from Axmo is going to bring down that to die back for that Juggernaut. Bignum now a little bit caught out of position. ZXC jumping forward. He's going to try and find the Magnus. Shadowblade keeps Honey safe though. Jump forward from Yol is going to stun up ZXC. Couple right clicks from the supports bring him down. Buyback comes out from Tron. Buyback comes out from the Templar Assassin. They're going to look to end the game now with the Juggernaut down for 80 plus seconds. No buyback. Mirana down for 60 seconds. No buyback. Should be another lane going Moscow 5's way.
That was the dream initiation there for Moscow 5. Hani uses his RP on Tron. They skewer him back. They Omni Slash him. And that's exactly what Moscow 5 want, because the Troll Warlord has Aegis the entire time. So they waste so many cooldowns in order to take down just that item. He pops right back up. They get a huge Death Ward channel on Slander. And just like that, they crush through 4Cal. They needed a better RP than that. They needed 2 targets, but I guess they figured, hey, we might as well throw the RP out and try to catch them off guard before they're actually ready to fight, before they're actually in a good position. It was a good idea, I suppose, but the durability of Troll with that Aegis was insurmountable right there for 4Cal, and they end up blowing their Omni Slash a little bit early, and Moscow 5 do walk away with this victory. Guys, that is going to be it for this series. For Clovers, going to get knocked out. Moscow 5 going to have a future date with either Hehe or BBC. Again, that's going to be played some other time. But we are also not done here. In about 30 minutes, we're going to have 4ASC going up against Scary Faces, so that should be a good series, so stick around until then, guys. But until that happens, if you enjoy the cast, be sure to hit that follow button. Also, follow us on Twitter at Mikelorus for me, at MRP_Dota for my co-caster, and we'll both be right back in 30 minutes for 4ASC versus Scary Faces. So we'll see you then, guys.
GG.